This video is made for adult collectors because Gray Tank Megatron. So we got that. And then an entire year later, yeah, that looks cool. That also looks cool. And this is where Rodimus goes if I remember to take him out of the box. Okay, we got Optimus last year, a pretty damn good Optimus. Was it perfect? Almost, but that then meant we were gonna get a Megatron. It has to live up to what that Optimus offered, but at a smaller price point, and boy does it. Is it perfect though? Almost. Let's just get right into it because there's a lot to go through. This is Megatron from Studio Series 86, and this was purchased at Toy Snowman. Here's the box, not sponsored. The reason he looks like this in the box is because of consistent box size, and he's packed with 86 Grimlocks, so they have to be the same box size. And yes, he's a tank. Nate, the marketing guy from Hasbro, stated that they cannot do a gun, legal things and all that. And it's not just legalities in the US, but other countries have different laws pertaining to toy guns, so it just makes it easier if he's a tank. I'm okay with that. I prefer it actually, but if you want Gun Megatron, there are plenty of options out there for you. But this looks amazing. I love the sculpted details on the legs, the thighs, but the crotch, I feel like this color plastic kind of swallows them a bit. Torso, arms, and head though are on point. I do wish the shoulders were a tiny bit broader. I don't recall them being this narrow in the film. And I think the hands are a teeny bit too small because like how the entire forearm transformation works, the forearm becomes a bit bulkier than it needs to be to fit the cavity and all that. Insanely clean figure though, like there is nothing hanging off this at all. It just works so well. The color of the legs. I know some of the initial stolen toy product photos and then the official Not Rab ones made them look very blue, but then Takara's stock photos are very gray and the back of the box is also very gray. It all depends on how the lighting is in the environment you're in right now. Even now, my DSLR isn't doing a good enough job. My phone seems to be showing them like how I see them in person. This is shot on a Google Pixel 9 for those curious. And then on my dad's Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, it looks different. It looks a bit brighter. They're a bit more blue. The color of the shins reacts differently to light and camera, and it always looks different in photos and videos. It's kind of hard to get like the what it looks like in person feel. In person, it is more of a sand bluish gray, leaning a little bit more on the gray side, but with a little bit of blue peeking through. I like the head sculpt, but the forehead looks a tiny bit too tall for me. The rest of the head looks great. The plastic is nice and solid, the joints are all firm, and the tabs hold everything in place. However, the one thing keeping me from saying this thing is basically perfect in my eyes, minus those little nitpicks I mentioned, is the leg panels. They don't like staying in, especially this one in particular. The way that it like folds up and compresses everything in tank mode, it causes it to pop out ever so slightly. No one else I know who has this guy has this problem though, which is also kind of strange. It doesn't do anything structurally, like it's not going to collapse. It's just more of a visual thing that I don't vibe with. A tiny little gap in the leg. I remember Evan saying that they made sure to include the hip skirts because that was like an iconic look in the film. But if you don't like how far they stick out, you can just flip them to the back. I like that. He comes with his fusion cannon. I know some people are a bit on the size, but I think it looks fine. He comes with the lightsaber and with himself. And the blue arm on the back of the box has been confirmed again by Evan to be the packaging team trying to make it look like someone else is holding the gun, because that's what you would probably do with this. I do wish he came with the purple gun that he like kills Optimus with, but this is still pretty neat. And the articulation on this, it's a bit wilder than Prime's. So somebody asked me to put the not YOLO Park, I've already got that wrong. The Blockies fusion cannon on this guy because it's got a 5mm port. Well, all I could find of it was this, the top part's apparently missing, but let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so it sticks out a bit. It's big, but it sticks out a little bit. So there you go. Anyways, this dude's articulation is very similar to this guy's, but however, unlike this guy, there's a lot less limitations. And this thing does quite a lot more. So to start with, the head is on a ball joint, so you get some nice wiggle waggle there. You get a little bit of tilt. I kind of wish you got a bit more. He can look up that far. He can look down, not at all. And then you have your rotation. The head's just a weird shape to grip because just G1 Megatron's head. The shoulders, they can do a full 360. They can go out that far. You do have that little bit that stops it, so it goes at about 90 degrees. Then you have a butterfly joint, but the butterfly joint is on like a triple hinge system. So if you untab it, you can get it to go all the way forward if you want. And then you can get it to go back as well if you're okay with that little gap showing. So the shoulders can do quite a bit more, but then you have to make sure all of the hinges are lined up properly to get them tabbed in. There we go. You have a bicep rotation, which by the way has its own little gap filler in it, which is kind of nice. Elbow bends over 90 degrees. You have wrist rotation. He's got the 3-finger trigger finger split with 2 joints in between each. Does have a waist joint, no ab crunch, just because this goes like this way for transformation. The hip skirts can move forward and back, and they can go at the back there if you like that look more, which I think is cool, and I honestly might display it like this because I don't know, it just looks a bit more streamlined to me. But the hips can go forward like more than 90 degrees. They can go back 90 degrees. They can go out all the way. You do have a thigh rotation. There goes that leg. You have above 90 degrees of bend at the knee, but like just by a little bit. And then the ankles, they can go down that far. They can go up that far, and you have an ankle tilt, and the toes can bend down for transformation, but this kind of helps them get into a kneeling pose. So like, there is a lot going on here. The only thing I really don't like is this, just, you saw that came apart. It's a little annoying, but everything else about this is great. So yeah, I really like this robot mode. I have my small, like very small nitpicks, and then the like thing is a bit annoying, but I can fix that with some polish. Now, he does turn into a tank, not a gun, but these instructions, oh Lord, are they long. All right, a 54-step leader. Let's get this thing into his tank mode. So to start with, you're gonna take this off and take this off, and then combine them together to form the tank barrel. And then you want to take this section and bring this down, and that is the tank barrel pretty much ready to go. So the tank itself, Megatron, there's a lot going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold up the fingers, not that way. You're going to fold them up so that they compress as a fist, and then pop the wrist off its ball joint. Don't do that. And then this blew me away. So a lot of things blew me away when I was transforming this for the first time, but this, so they want to hide the red. So instead of compressing the arm, which is an easy thing to do, but it means there's no space in here to fold the wrist away or whatever, I don't know. You can open this section up, rotate, or not rotate this, fold the fist in, and then rotate this 180 degrees and close that up, and now the red's covered. That's like genius. That's such a good way of doing this without needing like an arm slider. The only trouble is it makes the forearm a little thicker, so it looks like he's wearing little baggy sleeves. But once you get that done, you're going to then pull these out. Now, pulling the shoulders out first was really difficult to do when I got this. So what I advise you do, because this works for me, is you take the shoulders and you pull them forward on the butterfly hinge, and then keep pulling them forward until they pop out. It's easier than just trying to rip them out. You just like, boom, there they go. So you want to get those out of the way. Then we're going to fold the arms up and then rotate the forearms. Fold the arms up and then rotate the forearms 90 degrees. Then you want to come back here. You want to bring this section out and then bring that section out. And then you want to take this chest piece here, fold this forward, unclip this section, and then fold that down. We're going to then fold the head in and then fold this back up. It'll peg into place. Fold out this section here. Then we're going to rotate the arms 180 degrees on the tank turret rotation. Then we want to just sort of bring all this down, bring the legs forward. These hip skirts are going to come back and up here. You want to fold those out, and you see those two tabs? You want to take the legs, bring them back, and they're going to peg into those slots there. Then you want to rotate the waist 180 degrees and fold this out on this double hinge until this peg or port right here will peg into that little one right there. So you get that, you line that up, snap that together, fold that down, make sure that stays together, and that's basically the top of the tank done. Now we do the legs, and this is why they keep coming unpegged. So you fold the toes down. Yes, mine has a tiny little paint chip right there. It was like that out of the box. Not much I can do about it. You bring these sections up all the way, and then you unpeg the heel spurs, and then bring this all out. That is the side of the tank. So we're gonna do that on both sides here. Then you want to take these sections, open them up, get this folded out, close, open, fold, close, and then accordion this over. That's so satisfying to do, and it fills out so well. That was the heel. Like, whoever did this, raise. Give them a raise. This thing is very well done, and how satisfying that is to get together. And then, oop, that's come unpegged. This entire assembly is going to fold over, and it's going to peg in here and here, here and here, and here and here. So you got to get all three of those like pegs and ports lined up. That's one. I can't see. That's two. And that is three. Oh, there's a fourth one I've noticed. There's a fourth peg I just noticed right there and there. So you want to make sure all of that is properly aligned. and that's the side of the tank done. Yeah, it goes into that slot right there. So you get side 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is the tank all lined up. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna line up the back section. So with this, you want to take the foot and tab it into the ankle joint. Then you want to compress this, and there are these slots that are gonna go into these little, I don't know how well you can see that, but there are little tabs in there. So you accordion this in, and it will slot over top. It's a little hard to see and get in there, but you got that. Then you want to do it on this side as well. Get this section over, there you are. Then you bring this, there's a little tab right here that's gonna go into the bottom of the foot to hold this entire assembly in place. And then this side, same thing, get it lined up and smush it in. And once you have that done, you're then gonna take this section, and it's on like a triple hinge assembly here, but you wanna make sure this tab is facing out and it compresses in like that. And you do that on both sides to connect to the turret together, like that. Spread the arms out a bit. That's the wrong tank barrel. Take the tank barrel, I grabbed the blockies one by accident, and this little thing is going to slot over that. Then you compress this together and it will peg into the tank. And there you have the tank mode. That's a lot, but it's really fun to do. I really enjoy this whole thing. That's a tank, and a pretty good looking one at that. The only visual issues I have here are the shins on the top. They do kind of stick out, and the turret rotation is on a strange axis, but given how this transforms, I'm a bit more forgiving on that. The rest of it though looks great. Just like Megatronus and Concept Megatron, the arms form the turret, but here it feels like the most solid of the three, and it feels like a brick just in general. Absolutely nothing wants to come undone on this at all. It is a very nice hand feel in tank mode. The accessories can store on this guy, gun on the top, sword on the side, not hidden, very Transformers. And it rolls quite well. I don't have a version of the Siege tank anymore. I've got my broken G2 one, but I much prefer this tank mode over the Siege. And I hope we end up getting like this in G2 colors or toy colors, or hell, even safety Megatron. That would be cool. I am really happy with this figure. I like almost everything going on here, and I can totally see why Takara was so excited to get this guy out there for people to see. I definitely recommend it. I think it's the best G1 style Megatron Hasbro's put out so far. And it seems to be a very small issue with the shin thing. Like I said, no one else I know has this problem, so like yours is probably gonna be fine, but it is a lot of fun to mess with and to play with, and it feels great. But that's my look at Studio Series 86 Megatron. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.